Hey guys, good evening and welcome to the channel, Hey Pro Sales. My name is Jeff and I'm a full-time reseller. Today we're going to look at what sold. Was not that good of a sales day. I spent the majority of the day just in listing, doing some cleaning, trying to get organized, trying to relax a little bit. It's a really hot day today. So let's start with, let's see here, a couple patches that sold. Take them out of here. 2 Land Rover patches. These sold for $20. 24 shipped actually. Yeah, not much to say about these. This was part of a lot of patches that I bought a little while ago. If you remember, I recently sold was it a large Mercedes-Benz or was it a large Volkswagen patch? I can't remember, but yeah, super easy to ship. I wish all my packages were that easy. One other package that one magazine that I sold earlier today that's already shipped. I was dropping off a few things at my one shipper, and it was a Good Times magazine featuring the Bee Gees. So the title read, Good Times Magazine presents Bee Gees Hong Kong issue. I have no idea what this is. It was in very low grade. My description read, lots of wear, possibly some moisture damage, remnants of a price sticker on the front cover. Overall presents decently. See pics for condition. Now, I had it up for 20. It was on a sale, and he made an offer for 10. Now, I was immediately just going to accept it because I was like, I kind of want to get rid of this. But this is one topic that I'm interested in to know how you guys are handling offers, and are you just accepting or are you countering? Because lately, it feels like taboo almost to counter. Like, it seems like when I counter, buyers just go away. They don't respond. Like, I think I had another counter that, another offer that I had to counter on because it was just way too low. It was a consignment order. I was already not making that much money on it. I went out and I saw what other, it was like a Star Wars action figure. I gave him I basically matched, or maybe even a little bit under the cheapest one out there. I factored in my shipping was a little higher, so I made my offer a little lower than the price and that the other person was asking. And yeah, I'm thinking, if you don't want, because if something is really easy to research and it's apples against apples, a brand new Star Wars action figure, new inbox, there's no condition that you have to compare and weigh and decide, okay, mine's in better condition than this one, so even though they're the same price, mine is worth more because it's in better condition. No, there was none of that. So my thinking is, if I'm giving you the best deal that's out there and you're not taking it, well, there's not much I can do about that. I'm not going to go under the market. I don't need a sale that bad. So, but that brings me back to the Good Times Bee Gees magazine. So it was $10. And I find that when international buyers make offers, they're willing to deal a little bit because there was no other issues of this out there. So I counted at 15. Had it been a domestic order, had it been in the States, I would have just accepted. But given that he was in Peru, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to test this a little bit. I'm going to see if I can counter and see if I can get a little bit more out of this magazine that I'm all in for $1 on. And he accepted, and he paid immediately. And he messages me and he's like, hey, can you send me the tracking number when it ships? So I was just like, I'm just going to get this out today. It's going to go to Peru, but now first it has to go to California. International orders, I like to get shipped out as soon as possible, even though I would say across the board, international buyers, for me, in my experience, never have any problems with them. Never have any problems with them not getting there. Never have any problems with customers complaining or nitpicking about, condition or whatever they order. So yeah, so that's already gone. And I did have one local sale today. I sold a Coleman propane lantern. It was basically it was my own personal use, but I don't use it. Like, I am not a camper. I remember my wife buying some camping equipment way back when our kids were young. Our kids are all old adults, out of the house. I mean, this must have been like 15 years ago, maybe even a little bit more. And I was just like, cleaning out the shed area, and I was like, I just want to list this and get it out. Somebody made somebody paid full price, my full asking price of $30. So I was more than happy. It worked last time used. I believe it was even missing some part to it, but yeah, I was just like, sold as is, worked last time used. Somebody came and picked it up. So let's see, what else do we got here? This Warhammer Eldar, Warhammer 40,000, just a thin RPG. I've never really got into RPG, but I like selling them because I know that people will pay for them, and if you give them cheap enough. This one sold for 17.5. I know this little collectible store that they, after a while, sometimes they just blow stuff out. Probably in on this for $1.50 maybe. Let's see here. All right, I had bought a bunch of these cannabis culture magazines. There was this lot one time. My wife and I were doing a little vacation, and on Vancouver Island, visiting some friends, and I like to hit up Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist ads while I'm in a different area, and I bought a lot of these magazines. Can't even remember what I paid for them, but I mean, I probably got them for less than $1 an issue. This one sold for $14.37. I was surprised I couldn't get them to bite on any other ones, but yeah, so I just wanted to check something. Anyhow, that was that sale. I have another comics journal. This is in the format of the New Yorker magazine, and this one isn't paid for it yet. This one sold for $11.50, and it's got some condition issues as well. It's got like a tear here. It almost looks like it's part of the cover, but that's not the case. But yeah, I paid $1 each for these when I picked those up. I don't know about you guys, but I think the whole USPS transition has gone rather smoothly. In fact, I think in some instances things have gotten cheaper, which almost seems weird. Almost seems like we're in the Twilight Zone. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so I talked about the offers. Really, are you guys finding that your offers are not being accepted and you're kind of being ghosted? But yeah, the whole point of me mentioning that is something to consider when you're thinking about countering international buyers. Is they have a different, I find they have a different mindset when it comes to offers, because if they want something and you're the only one that they have access to getting it, they're more than likely, they're either going to accept or they might counter a little bit more. So it's just, we got to I look at countering and getting a little bit more money as extra, right? But we have to take what we can get. man, today, I don't know what happened. My computer froze, so I restarted it. And I got an error message about my printer. So I was like, okay, well, let me just grab a package out of my bag and print. I wanted to see if I was going to have like any printing issues. So I reached in my shipping bag, and I noticed 2 different packages had the same label on it, or the same person and the same address on it. So basically, long story short, I somehow printed the same address on 2 different packages. So luckily I caught it, because that has happened before. Or I've actually put one label on one and another on the other and shipped them out into 2 different spots. And that's been a nightmare. One time I did that, I actually got the 2 people to send the packages to the other people. And then I credited some of their account to make up for what they were super cool about it. Every once in a while you run into some really super awesome buyers that kind of remind you that there are some good ones out there. And there are a lot of good ones out there, to be honest with you. Like, there are only a few bad ones, but it seems like when they're bad, they're really bad. And it really kind of like sinks in your memory, and it kind of skews how you see things. But there are so many good buyers out there. But how do you guys catch mistakes? Like, when you're putting the label on, like normally when I put the label on, I'm double checking to make sure the address, or I'm double checking the name. And that's part of the reason why I don't like to hold my packages and then do shipping, kind of like what I do like for the videos, because when I can, I want to hold as many so you guys can see what I'm selling. But for the sake of videos, I kind of have to do bulk packaging when I'm ready. And I don't really love that idea, but I guess the only other thing I can do is I can actually learn how to edit videos, and I can put a picture up of something so I can package it. Because I like to do, when I sell something, if I know someone's not buying anything else, they're not adding to their order, I like to just package it up and be done with it. It like makes me feel like I'm ahead. I've always been that kind of person. When I have work to do, I'd like to just get it done. I don't like it hanging over my head. So there was that. The Hello Kitty, a little update on the Hello Kitty 3-tiered stand. I contacted the gentleman who purchased it. I'm like, hey, I'm okay if maybe you changed your mind, you're not, you don't want to pay for it, and I'm okay. Just let me know and I'll release it. I have tons of people that were interested. I had so many people on my watch list, and he goes, hey, he's like, no, I'm gonna pay for it. I'm like, I get paid tomorrow. So I'm like, okay. But that raises the question, should you be buying something that expensive, that it's not something that you need, if you got to wait till payday to pay for it? Like, that's probably not the best use of your money, but what are you gonna do? The other thing that I wanted to ask you guys, this is kind of a controversial topic, and it's not that I want to call anybody out on it, but it's not something that I ever hear anybody talking about. It's like, should there be a distinction between people who are full-time resellers and make the majority of their money from reselling, or should there be a distinction between people who are full-time, well, let's say YouTube/content creators and resellers? So people who make the majority of their money from the YouTube videos, and then they use reselling as a way to create content for their YouTube channel. Because it's something that has been kind of like, I've been thinking about lately, when you start to learn how people's revenue from YouTube and people's revenue from resellers, because it creates the question, are people watching these videos for entertainment, or are they watching them for learning? because I mean, and you can do both. But I think if you're thinking about getting into the reselling genre, it's important to know that the people who are creating YouTube content and they're making, you know, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month from YouTube, the things that they are buying and you know, the chances that they are taking to make video content is not something that the normal average Joe can do and should not do. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to really say a whole lot on it, but I'm just wondering, like, is that a discussion worth having, or is it just, you know, it is what it is. You know, people are going to watch what they want to watch, and there's really nothing to talk about. Yeah, it's an interesting dialogue or thought process to have, I think. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Other than that, I think that's everything. Yeah, we'll talk to you guys real soon. We'll have more sales and tomorrow, and just, you know, rinse and repeat. Have a good evening.